Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the episode Recap and Thoughts category. This video will be dedicated to the FUNimation dub of episode 118 of Dragonball Super. We begin this episode finding out that Universe 2's inhabitants have been watching the Tournament of Power thanks to the holo screen of Universe 2's angel assistant. Universe 2's inhabitants are in despair over Ribrianne, aka Brienne de Chateau, being eliminated from the Tournament of Power. Whis thinks it's bold of the Universe 2 team to broadcast the tournament to their universe, since this knowledge would normally cause a tremendous panic. Brienne de Chateau encourages the inhabitants of Universe 2 to not lose hope and to cheer on the last three members of the Universe 2 team. Rabanra, Zarbuto, and Zerloin fight Goku at once, and they're determined to ensure that Universe 2 will survive. Old Kai has a feeling that Goku is intentionally fighting without resting to test his own limits, and Master Roshi acknowledges that a single mistake could lead to dire consequences. Champa smugly comments about how the Universe 2 team lost its best fighter, and Vados points out that the Universe 6 team only has 2 fighters still participating in the tournament, 1 fighter less than the Universe 2 team. Vados also points out that Champa's plan to have the Universe 6 team be the team with the most fighters still in the arena when the time limit runs out has pretty much become impossible at this point, and Vados says all of this while reminding Champa that she, Vados, will be spared from the fate of Universe 6 if Universe 6 is erased from existence. Caulifla tries to encourage the Universe 6 Namekians to get fired up, in her words. Caulifla says that she will beat up the Universe 6 Namekians if they are eliminated from the Tournament of Power. Pilina points out that that won't be possible since they will be erased from existence if they, Saonel and Pilina, are eliminated from the tournament. And Saonel says that they already are fired up. Saonel also says that something is happening just in time, in his words. Tien notices that Gohan and Piccolo's fight with the Universe 6 Namekians is taking some time. Old Kai says that he's noticed that the Universe 6 Namekians... Yes, Old Kai says that he noticed that the Universe 6 Namekians seem to be exceptionally resilient. Gohan and Piccolo sense a change in the Universe 6 Namekians, and Piccolo has a vision that shows multiple Namekian silhouettes alongside Saonel and Pilina. The Universe 6 Namekians demonstrate a greater amount of strength and speed compared to earlier, which catches Gohan and Piccolo by surprise. Meanwhile, we see the inhabitants of Universe 2 send their love to Rabanra, Zarbuto, and Zerloin, and this leads to the trio of Universe 2 team members performing the transformation sequence ritual that the Maiden Squadron, or the Kamikaze Fireballs if you prefer, performed earlier on during the tournament several episodes ago. Once the transformation sequence ritual is complete, we see that Rabanra is now wearing Kakunsa's outfit, Zarbuto is now wearing Rosie's outfit, and Zerloin is now wearing Ribrianne's outfit. Android 17 and Android 18 decide to join the fight to even the playing field, since the trio have become stronger after transforming, and Goku's stamina hasn't been fully restored yet. The trio of Universe 2 team members accuse Android 17 and Android 18 of being evil for eliminating the Maiden Squadron from the tournament. And the twins decide to play along with this accusation by giving Hammy introductions, much to Krillin's surprise. Goku, though, just simply introduces himself, and after that, the 3-on-3 fight begins. Elsewhere, we see Piccolo saying that he's figured out that Saonel and Pilina have performed Namekian merger before the Tournament of Power began, and Pilina confirms that this is the case. Pilina further explains that Saonel and Pilina are the representatives of Universe 6's Namekians, and a great number of Universe 6 Namekians agreed to merge with Saonel and Pilina, with Saonel and Pilina being the hosts, when they found out that the universes that participate in the tournament and lose the tournament will be erased from existence. Saonel mentions that they avoided aggressive fighting until their power had stabilized. This was to save this great power for later on during the tournament, although Saonel also acknowledges that the power had only stabilized when Saonel and Pilina became the last members of the Universe 6 team still participating in the Tournament of Power. The Universe 6 Namekians, though, make a point to say that this setback won't stop them from giving their all to save Universe 6. Gohan powers up to his ultimate form, or his mystic form if you prefer, and he encourages Piccolo to charge a special beam cannon, while he, Gohan, gets the attention of the Universe 6 Namekians. Gohan figures that both Piccolo and himself won't have to worry about breaking the no-killing rule when they use their full power, since Saonel and Pilina merging with a great number of Namekians has increased their resilience. Whis notices that Beerus has been quiet lately, and Whis has a feeling that this is because Gohan and Piccolo's victory against the Universe 6 Namekians means that Champa, Beerus' twin brother, will be erased from existence. Beerus denies Whis' speculation, and Beerus proceeds to encourage the Universe 7 fighters facing off against... Beerus encourages the fighters of the 7th Universe team that are fighting the Universe 2 team and the Universe 6 team to win. Yes, Beerus encourages those fighters of the 7th Universe team to win their respective fights. So we then see that the Namekians, after that, we see the Namekians are really excited about how Goku and his son are facing off against opponents at the same time. And the Grand Minister brings up that the 7th Universe team has persevered throughout the tournament, even though other universes have been singling out the 7th Universe team. But the Grand Minister also acknowledges that this means that that the 7th Universe team's stamina has been drained significantly. The Grand Minister also brings up that the Universe 2 team and the Universe 6 team have shown new sources of power around the time when each team has only a few fighters still participating in the tournament. So the Grand Minister acknowledges that there's tension from the 7th Universe team, the Universe 2 team, and the Universe 6 team. Piccolo launches the special beam cannon at Pilina before it's fully charged when he sees Pilina launching a mouth blast at Gohan. And after that happens, Pilina counters with another mouth blast, and this renders Piccolo unconscious. In his mind, Piccolo sees Nail and Kami, and Nail and Kami point towards a certain direction. And when Piccolo sees where Nail and Kami are pointing, this leads to Piccolo regaining consciousness, and Piccolo sees Gohan defending him, Piccolo. Gohan apologizes to Piccolo, saying that he, Gohan, let his guard down, which led to Piccolo launching the special beam cannon before he was able to fully focus his energy. Gohan wants to try the strategy again. This time he's determined to not let his guard down. So Gohan returns to fighting the Universe 6 Namekians, and Piccolo says to himself out loud that he should be the one apologizing to Gohan for letting himself be overwhelmed by the Universe 6 Namekians' determination to survive. And Piccolo says that he is determined to fight to the fullest extent alongside Gohan. Elsewhere, we see Rabanra, Zarbuto, and Zerloin praising Goku, Android 17, and Android 18 for their efforts. And then Rabanra, Zarbuto, and Zerloin charge an energy attack that looks like a black heart. They call it the Pretty Black Hole. Rabanra, Zarbuto, and Zerloin throw the Rabanra, Zarbuto, and Zerloin throw the Pretty Black Hole on top of Goku and the twins. Goku comments about the weight of the Pretty Black Hole being heavier than Bulma's training rooms, and Goku also finds out that he can't perform instant transmission while the Pretty Black Hole is on top of him and the twins. Rabanra, Zarbuto, and Zerloin reveal that the plan Rabanra, Zarbuto, and Zerloin point out that the pretty black hole is going further and further down the arena. So Rabanra, Zarbuto, and Zerloin reveal that their strategy is to knock Goku and the twins off the arena by having the pretty black hole break through the arena. Goku says that, Goku admits that the Universe 2 team continue to surprise him with how they embrace the power of love. Goku then says that he prefers the power of fury, and he transforms to Super Saiyan Blue. Goku then charges a Kamehameha towards the pretty black hole, and at the same time, Gohan charges a Kamehameha towards the Universe 6 Namekians. Pilina counters with a mouth blast, so this leads to Gohan and Pilina taking part in a beam struggle. Saonel closes in on Gohan, but Piccolo launches the fully charged special beam cannon, and it hits both Saonel and Pilina. Saonel says that he's impressed by the power of the Universe 7 Namekian, that is Piccolo. And so this leads to Gohan winning the beam struggle. So at the same time, Goku's Kamehameha successfully reaches Rabanra, Zarbuto, and Zerloin. So this leads to the trio from Universe 2 and the Universe 6 Namekians being blasted off the arena at the same time. The Grand Minister declares that Universe 2 and Universe 6 will both be erased from existence. Frieza notices that Autonomous Ultra Instinct didn't appear this time around, and Whis fears that it might become harder for Goku to reactivate Ultra Instinct if Goku becomes used to fighting in extreme conditions. So the Namekians prepare to erase Universe 2 and Universe 6. Universe 2 Supreme Kai assures Rabanra, Zarbuto, and Zerloin that they put up a valiant fight, and Jerez suggests that they take their defeat with dignity, or that's along the lines of what she says anyway. So the Maiden Squadron transform, and the Universe 2 team give a farewell pose before they are erased from existence, along with the rest of Universe 2. Android 17 and Android 18 admit to each other that they can respect the Universe 2 team after having the chance to face off against them throughout the tournament. Vados bids Champa farewell, and then she goes to sit with the Universe 7 characters in the spectator seats, and Champa is annoyed by this. Caulifla transforms to Super Saiyan, and she starts to chase after the Universe 6 Namekians to keep her promise to beat them up, but she means it in a joking manner. Kappa bids Vegeta farewell and wishes him the best of luck throughout the rest of the tournament. Champa calls out to Beerus, and when Beerus turns to look at his twin brother, Champa responds by sticking his tongue out, and he pulls down the one of his bottom eyelids. That's the last thing Champa does towards Beerus before he and the rest of Universe 6, besides Vados, of course, is erased from existence. Beerus' response to this is to say, "Nothing else to say?" Vegeta prepares to fight Kato Pesra yet again. Vegeta notes that he's in a very bad mood right now. The narrator reveals that 13 minutes are left in the Tournament of Power, and that is how we end this episode. So this episode was notable because we have not one, but two universes being erased from existence. Universe 2 and Universe 6. And yes, I was definitely surprised to see that two universes were erased at the same time. But at the same time, I can understand why they went down that route, because it has been a while since a universe was erased from existence. Universe 10 was the previous universe to be erased from existence, and that was quite some time ago. So I can see why they would have two universes be erased from existence, probably to pick up the pace, because we're getting closer to the end of the universe survival saga. So yes, Universe 2 and Universe 6 were the universes that were erased from existence now, as of this episode. And I will admit, I was definitely surprised to see that Universe 6 was erased from existence by this point in time, because back when the Tournament of Power was starting, when I was first hearing about the Universe Survival Saga, I was under the impression that the Universe 6 team would be the I guess you could call it the third place team in the Tournament of Power. I figured Universe 6 would be the second to yes, I figured that Universe 7, Universe 6, and Universe 11 would be the last three universes to participate in the tournament, but Universe 6 ended up being erased from existence sooner than I had initially anticipated. So that caught me by surprise. Although, then again, that was in the anime. Unless I'm mistaken, I believe the manga, or manga if you prefer. Yes, I think in the manga, or the manga if you prefer, I believe the Universe 6 team was the third place team in the Tournament of Power, from what I can recall anyway. But yeah, for the anime, I was definitely surprised that the Universe 6 team didn't last longer in the tournament. But then again, I thought Hit would have been one of the last eliminations from the Universe 6 team. I didn't expect Hit to be eliminated earlier on. Or yes, Hit being eliminated earlier on than I had anticipated caught me by surprise. So I guess that continues that trend. I was surprised that Universe 6 didn't last longer during the Tournament of Power. But in any case, this episode did give us a chance to see Saonel and Pilina have more screen time. Or yes, Saonel and Pilina, the Universe 6 Namekians, received more screen time in this episode, and we have been seeing them appear we've seen Saonel and Pilina to some extent in earlier episodes, but this one gave us more insight on Saonel and Pilina, and I do appreciate that we did receive some insight. I wish we did receive more insight about the Universe 6 Namekians, if for nothing else than to learn more about the differences between Namekians in Universe 6 and Universe 7, similar to how we've seen similarities and differences between the Saiyans of Universe 6 and Universe 7. But I do appreciate the insight that we did receive on Saonel and Pilina. And yes, a lot of fans had expected that Saonel and Pilina would perform Namekian merger before the tournament. Many fans had speculated that Saonel and Pilina had performed Namekian merger before the Tournament of Power started. So, yes, I definitely had expected that too. I was also one of those fans that expected that, and I can say I definitely understand why. It's not hard to understand why a great number of Namekians had agreed to merge with Saonel and Pilina. If you found out that your universe would be erased from existence if you lose the tournament, then you probably would want to make sure that you have very powerful fighters on your universe's team. So it was expected, but yeah, it makes sense too. And it was pretty cool to see more Namekian merger occur, since for the most part, we mostly just saw Namekian merger so far, with Piccolo merging with Nail and Kami back in Dragon Ball Z. Speaking of Nail and Kami, I was pleasantly surprised to see them again in this episode. It was pretty cool that we did get to see a brief look in Piccolo's mind, and we got to see Nail and Kami return. Nail and Kami do get brought up here and there, but it was nice to see them being acknowledged again. Nail and Kami do get brought up from time to time after they've merged with Piccolo. But they do seem to still be rarely mentioned. Seeing Nail and Kami again and getting a look in Piccolo's mind was a pretty cool scene. And I do appreciate that they did acknowledge Nail and Kami again. It's a shame we didn't get to hear them talk, but it was still nice to see those two again after quite some time. And I also did like how we got to see that scene where Gohan defended Piccolo, similar to how in the past Piccolo had defended Gohan from those sort of attacks. So I thought that was a very heartwarming moment. That was a way to highlight Gohan and Piccolo's bond with each other, being teacher and student, master and apprentice, or mentor and apprentice, or what have you. So yeah, it definitely showed. I definitely think that Gohan and Piccolo's teamwork was one of the highlights for the Tournament of Power overall. And seeing Goku team up with Android 17 and Android 18 in this episode was also a really cool moment. And that exchange Yes, the exchange at the end between Beerus and Champa, that scene definitely caught me by, or yes, that scene definitely stood out to me. Yeah, Champa decided to Champa decided to, I guess you could say, tease Beerus one last time before he was erased from existence. And Beerus's words after Champa was erased from existence definitely stood out to me. I know a lot of fans had definitely had speculated about what exactly Beerus meant by those words. It was worded a little differently in the subbed version. In the sub version, Beerus said "say something," while here in the Funimation dub, he says nothing else to say. But yeah, that line that Beerus said, a lot of fans have speculated about it. But yeah, it definitely stood out to a lot of fans. So it stood out to me too. I could understand why that scene stood out to so many fans. And when Champa was erased from existence, we do get to see Vados bowing. So I thought that was pretty heartwarming because it does show us that even though Vados does like to tease Champa a lot, she really does seem to be fond of Champa. So it was a way to show us that she really does respect Champa, and she is sad to see him be erased from existence. So I thought that was a pretty heartwarming moment too. We do get to see Beerus and Champa's bond as twin brothers, and we also do get to see how Vados does respect and is fond of Champa and is sad to see him go. I thought those were brief but really heartwarming moments all the same. And yeah, the Universe 2 team's farewell pose before they were erased from existence, you do have to hand it to the Universe 2 team. They definitely know how to take their defeat with dignity. Although the Universe 6 team also took their defeat with dignity. And actually, yeah, Universe 9 and Universe 10, I would have to say that, yeah, they've all taken their defeat with dignity. Though I guess you could say the Universe 2 team were willing to go out with a smile. I guess you could say that definitely stood out to me too. And I thought it was also heartwarming how Android 17 and Android 18 both admit that they could respect the Universe 2 team after facing off against them, or they do consider the Universe 2 team to be worthy opponents. So I thought that was also a heartwarming moment. Oh, and while I'm thinking about the twins, I got a real kick out of them giving hammy performances to the trio from the Universe 2 team. Android 17 did give a hammy performance earlier on when he was facing another member of the Universe 2 team, but seeing Android 18 join in on the hammy performances was pretty fun too. And Krillin's reaction was pretty hilarious too. And it actually brings up something that I have noticed some fans thinking about Android 17 and Android 18's voices from the Funimation dub. I remember some fans saying that they weren't too fond of Chuck Huber and Meredith McCoy's performances as the twins because they thought they sounded a little monotone. Those fans were saying that even though some fans weren't fond of the twins sounding monotone because they're actually humans, rather than being robots, because technically 17 and 18 are cyborgs. Android is an umbrella term in the Dragon Ball franchise to keep the numbering system consistent with a unified title. But I actually didn't have a problem with 17 and 18 having that monotone voice, even though they are... I didn't really have a problem with... Yeah, when I was younger, I never really had a problem with 17 and 18 having monotone speech patterns, because while it's true that 17 and 18 are actually humans, the franchise has strongly implied, if not outright spelled out, that Dr. Gero did repress their emotions. So I think that the monotone speech patterns are a good way to show that 17 and 18 do have repressed emotions, which makes sense because of what Dr. Gero did when he modified the twins into cyborgs. So I didn't really have a problem with that. And I do feel that even with the monotone speech patterns, Chuck Huber and Meredith McCoy were still able to act emotively. Or, yes, I do think that Chuck Huber and Meredith McCoy were able to have 17 and 18 emote when the situation calls for it. And their hammy performances here with their hammy introductions, I thought that was a good example of that. And some might say that the twins that usually speak in with a monotone speech pattern, giving hammy performances added to the humor of the scene. So, yeah, I think Chuck Huber, yeah, I like Chuck Huber and Meredith McCoy's performances as the twins, and I think them giving hammy performances or hammy introductions when they usually speak in a monotone speech pattern added to the humor. So, if nothing else, this episode highlights why I'm a big fan of Chuck Huber playing Android 17 and Meredith McCoy playing Android 18. So, otherwise, that's right, yes. So, at this point in time, let's see, Universe 9's been erased from existence, Universe 10's been erased from existence, and in this episode, Universe 2 and Universe 6 were erased from existence. So, at this point in time, half of the universes that are participating in the Tournament of Power have been erased from existence. So, we only have half the universes left still participating. So, Universe 7, Universe 3, Universe 4, and Universe 11. Those are the universes that are still participating in the Tournament of Power. So, yes, it's pretty safe to say that we're going to see another universe get the spotlight in the next episode. So, fans that have watched the subversion or at least read up on what happens in later episodes will know which universe is going to get the spotlight in the next episode. But I won't say that here for the sake of the dub-only viewers. But you can be assured that we will get that answer once the next episode airs on Toonami, and we'll be sure to talk about that in that episode's recap and thoughts video. So, otherwise, I would say that's it for this episode. So, to summarize, I did like how we got to see some teamwork between two different groups of Universe 7 fighters. Yes, I thought Goku and the twins' teamwork and Gohan and Piccolo's teamwork were both highlights for this episode. And I did think that there were some heartwarming moments in this episode too, like how Gohan defended Piccolo the way Piccolo would defend Gohan in the past. I did like having a little more insight about Saonel and Pilina, and I certainly hope that there is a chance to learn more about how the Universe 6 Namekians are different from the Universe 7 Namekians, similar to how we learned about the differences between the Universe 6 Saiyans and the Universe 7 Saiyans. And I also did like how we got to see Nail and Kami again. It was nice to see those two characters be acknowledged and shown in some way. And I also did like seeing having a look in Piccolo's mind. I thought that was a pretty cool scene, even if it was brief. And yes, like I said, Universe 6 being erased from existence at this point in time caught me by surprise. But then again, Hit being eliminated from the tournament earlier on caught me by surprise too. But I can definitely give Universe 2 and Universe 6 credit for taking their defeat with dignity, much like how Universe 9 and Universe 10 also took their defeat with dignity. And I did like the heartwarming farewell between... I did like how Vados and Champa's farewell scene, and I also did like Beerus and Champa's farewell scene too. I thought those were pretty heartwarming moments to highlight Champa's bond with other characters that are important to him. Vados being his mentor, and Beerus being his twin brother. So those were moments that stood out to me, even if they were brief. And otherwise, yes, so at this point in time, we only have half the universes participating in the tournament, still participating in the tournament. So we're definitely getting closer to the end of the Tournament of Power. And yeah, things are going to become more intense while we continue on with the saga. But I would say that's it for now. So as of this video, we've now discussed the Funimation dub of episode 118 of Dragon Ball Super on this channel. Take care, and until next time.